Hey, what's up guys, Khraze here, and in today's video we'll go over another No Man's Sky tutorial, and this time we'll go over a few very good methods of making quite a lot of units in the next update. Of course, a lot of the older ones that worked in Atlas Rises are kinda obsolete right now. People have yet to set up their own farms properly, and up until we get new portal coordinates, we will have to do these methods that I'm about to show you. Keep in mind that at least one of these methods on this list might get patched soon, as it's like really crazy right now and it brings you a lot of units, so better hurry up and do it. But without wasting any more time, let's get started. The first method on the list, which can be done right from the very start of the game, is straight up gathering albumin pearls from around cave areas. A full stack of 5 pearls sell for a ton of units, and in mere minutes you can make hundreds of thousands of units, as they can be very abundant, especially on toxic planets, and both around caves as well as inside of them. Since most people are unlucky enough to have their starting planet a toxic waste like I did, for example, why not just take advantage of the situation and make some money in the process? The easiest way to find your closest albumin pearl spot is by using your visor and tag the nearest source. They will appear on your screen as yellowish icons, so proceed to press E to mark them on your map, and that way you will not lose track of them. The reason I'm even mentioning this method is because you can easily make a few 100,000 units, and it will be useful for you to get ready for other way better methods in the process. Do note that typically the albumin pearl eggs will release a toxic gas upon opening them, so just keep your distance, as it can cause a lot of toxic damage. So either have like your shields upgraded or just keep your distance. It's pretty easy, and I have found caves to be literally filled with dozens of them. I think at some point I filled my inventory just with these things, and they can sell for quite a lot. An albumin pearl farm is again profitable, so might as well just go ahead and do it. It's gonna be like super easy. Since we're talking about toxic stuff and alien eggs, a very good way but extremely dangerous method of making a lot of units is by stealing them from alien nests. These are even more rewarding than the ones mentioned in the previous method, but upon touching the eggs, you'll quickly realize that roughly a dozen or so horrific aliens will ambush you from underground. While a single individual alien can be easily dealt with, since they spawn in huge waves, they can easily outpower you and they can do some serious damage, so yeah, just be careful with that. Not only are they agile, but they can also leap jump in your face. These nests are typically found near abandoned structures. You've probably seen them in the game or probably heard me talking about them in the past, as well as other people, because you know, it's just an awesome encounter. They're basically outposts with a lot of strange goo and vines inside of them, and they just look abandoned. So either search for them manually or use your signal boosters, and if you happen to stumble upon one, you might want to get your ship really close by in case something goes really wrong, and you have a safe point as well as a way to, you know, just get out in case you get overwhelmed. You can also build walls around the nest itself, and the aliens won't be able to attack you anymore. This is like a legit good method of doing it, and placing down walls isn't really that expensive. You just need to claim a base really close by in order to do that, but it's actually a legit method, especially if you don't have the firepower or the necessary skill to deal with these numbers of aliens. A great method that can bring some serious cash, up to 18 million per hunt if you're lucky enough, is to search for artifact treasures from alien ruins. To do so, simply search for a ruin by using your signal booster and choosing to scan for artifacts. Head towards the ruins you're being shown on the map, and once you get there, use the stone to seek knowledge of the past. This will then point you towards a new direction, which should hold both the treasure itself as well as the keys needed to unlock it. The keys are typically also located around the treasure itself, typically buried underground, so you don't have to work too much nor venture too far away from it in order to complete this. All you need to do is just dig them from underground using your terrain manipulator, and it's pretty easy and fast. It shouldn't take you more than a few minutes to do this, and upon successfully digging out both the artifact treasure chest as well as the 3 keys, proceed to put them in and you will get a nice little reward. There are many possible rewards inside these chests, and they can range anywhere from a few 100,000 units up to 20 million. I've seen a lot of people, especially on Reddit, posting their findings, and I've seen items being sold for up to 20 million on the market, so it's definitely very lucrative right now, and you only need one in order to be in the cash. A little tip I have for people searching for monoliths is that you need that communication data item in order to input it into your signal booster. The easiest way to find one is to simply go at your nearest space station, where typically you can find those orange rhombs on the table. They will reward you either nanites but also the communication data needed for your signal booster, and it's actually a pretty good drop operate, and this is a legit way of farming communication data in case you can't find it randomly on the planets. The fourth method that I'm going to show you is very easy and fast, and it can bring you some serious units, even more so than the previous 3 ones, and all you need to do is completing galactic missions from your capital ship, and you can find this terminal on your main deck area where all the NPCs are and where your captain is situated. There's even like a holographic planet over there. There are no requirements here from what I can tell outside of just owning a freighter, and you can do them even when you don't have a very good ship, as the missions themselves are like super easy. You'll quickly realize that while some of these quests reward quite a lot of nanites and units, the ones we're looking for are the ones that reward certain items such as superconductors, cryogenic chambers, and other parts that are usually used in crafting very high-end and expensive materials such as stasis devices. Of course, we won't build the stasis device itself, even though you could potentially do it, but that would require you having the blueprint, which is like extremely hard to get. But the items themselves are good enough rewards, and they can range up to 5 million per piece, which means that you can do these quests repeatedly, and it takes like a couple of minutes to complete one, and at the end of them there's high chances to get anywhere between 2 million or 5 million. Typically the mission that rewards you these items points you towards a rescue mission, and you will need to fight a group of pirates that are attacking the nearest freighter. So there's going to be like 3 or 4 attacking ships that can die really fast, like just a few shots even with your default ship can do severe damage to them, and you will basically melt them in seconds. The ships themselves don't have a lot of health nor shields and can be dealt with in like 2 minutes tops. After defeating them, the game will point you towards the captain inside the freighter you just rescued, so proceed inside and give in the quest at the commission terminal in there. After this, you will receive an item that should probably cost up to 5 million. Sometimes you might be unlucky and get something that's not that expensive, but you can just go back and get another quest very similar to this one. But on average, you will be rewarded very expensive items nonetheless. A few tips I have for you guys with this method is that if you by any chance do any damage to the freighter you need to rescue, or to other ships that are helping it, you won't be credited for that mission anymore, and you will need to abandon it from your logs menu and redo it. Another tip is that the mission brief is kinda bugged, and it tells you that you need to destroy 3 freighter pods. That is actually a text bug, and you don't really need to do that. All you need to do is just save the freighter. So if you're stuck on the mission, it means you screwed something up, so just abandon it and then retake it. Also, the quest will be repeatable, it's just that the rewards might be procedurally generated, so they are all at random. Nonetheless, more often than not, you'll get rewarded very expensive materials, and it looks like to be the best method to farm even nanites outside, of course, just uploading discoveries. It's also a very good method to make money, probably the best one in the legit category so far. And this brings us to the final point on the list, which is also the absolute best way to make units right now in the game. From my calculations, it can be up to 400 million in 1 hour, depending on the starting amount of units that you have. Before proceeding, a short disclaimer is that I strongly suspect that this method will be patched really soon because it doesn't make any sense. It's a little bit exploit-ish, but nonetheless do it while you can, especially PC players, as the PC version of the game tends to be patched really fast. This method involves crafting superconductors by simply buying the necessary components from the NPCs on space stations as well as trading terminals. The prerequisites here are of course to have a superconductor blueprint, at least 150,000 units, and to be in a very wealthy system. For a full list of systems that fall into the wealthy category, you can check the No Man's Sky wiki, but the description typically already kinda indicates this. So for example, if you're in a opulent, wealthy, affluent, advanced system, etc, etc, it's gonna be there. The item required to craft the superconductor are enriched carbon and a semiconductor. Of course you can buy these, but they will be very expensive, or you can buy the items required to build the carbon and the semiconductor, which in turn you can use to craft the superconductor. If you buy the materials needed to craft these two, it won't cost you more than 200,000 units, or if you're lazy, more than 500,000 units, but nonetheless the superconductor itself sells for over 2 million a piece, so at most you spend 150,000 units up to 500,000 units to make a profit of 2 million. So it's still going to be very good, you're still gonna make a lot of profit out of this. If you don't have the components, you can farm manufacturing facilities for blueprints. It's just that it's gonna take some time. The best way to search for them is by asking NPCs for directions at the space stations or at outposts, and they should definitely point you towards a manufacturing facility at some point. As for finding rich systems, you will need an economy scanner, or else you'll have to travel there manually from system to system and see which one of them has has a wealthy economy. Again, this method might be a bit more complicated, but I just wanted to bring it up because I know some of you already have all of these achieved. These are by no means all the methods in the game, of course. There are many more ways of making units. If you're on a console, you can still do the duplication trick with your portable refiner, but that was already patched on PC, and I'm pretty sure that PS4 and Xbox One will follow suit in like a short amount of time. As for other legit mentions that I really want to go over, of course we have the missions. You can grab missions at the space station and they will reward you both standing with certain factions as well as a hefty amount of units, of nanites, and you can even get blueprints from these. You'll need to have advanced in the main story a little bit in order for them to be available to you, but since you're already doing most of the activities these quests require you to do anyway, might as well just grab them and shoot two birds with one stone. Another very good passive way is by sending your fleet into expeditions, and not only will they bring back units but also materials. Your initial investment here is 0 as the game offers you a free freighter early on, but you will find more details about this on the video I've made explaining the fleet system. You can go ahead and check it out. I'm going to put it somewhere in the screen. And this was pretty much all I had for today. I will definitely post a lot more when I find more. I'm curious, what other methods do you guys use in order to make a ton of money in the game? Preferably something that doesn't involve cheating or using a duplication glitch or anything of the sorts. Also tell me if there's any other topic you want to cover. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, a like and a subscribe would be super appreciated. Also don't forget about the notification bell, and I will see you guys next time.